Rena and Henwin's litter that are living in the same nest are their eyes just open, so I'm going to show you what we do when the baby's eyes just open to help prevent nest box eye. So nest box eye is basically like an eye infection that baby bunnies often get when they first open their eyes, because their eyes are not, they're just opening, and they're like the immune system in their eyes kind of like they're just open, and so they're not really used to all the germs, especially with like a nest box that's super dirty with poop and pee in it. Then the eyes can get infected very easily. And what happens is there's usually white pus or gummy stuff that either gums up their eye or comes out of their eye, and it can get very serious, and it is oftentimes, if you don't catch it quick enough, it is very hard to get rid of, and sometimes you just have to keep treating it until you butcher them. It is potentially very bad and hard to get rid of, so I like to try and prevent it at all costs. So this is a super easy, simple way that I found very effective to prevent nest box eye, and it works pretty well. So we're going to do two things. The first thing is we're going to take out all this bedding and replace it with fresh bedding. So this bedding, especially because there are 2 litters in here, is getting kind of damp and smelling a little bad, so it's due for a change anyways. I usually never change the bedding until the kid's eyes open. It's usually around like 10 or 11 days, but these guys are 8 days. Some litters open their eyes as early as 7 days. Some go till 12 days or even sometimes longer, so it all really depends on your rabbits, but usually about 10 days is the usual. But these guys are 8 days old and their eyes are starting to open, so we're going to take all the kits out of their nest, put them in this little holding thing so you don't crawl away, and then empty out all the bedding. And then these are paper shavings in this bag. Then we're going to put the paper shavings in this nest and then put the babies back in. So we emptied all of the nasty bedding out of there, and I rinsed it out real quick. Now we're going to add the new bedding. So I filled this nest box with paper shavings because these babies are a week old. They already have fur, so even though it's cold outside, I don't have to worry too much about them freezing. If they were newborn babies or something, then I would want to add some fur or fur replacements, but they have fur on them already, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, and now for step 2. It's actually a little later in the day, maybe like an hour or two, because we took the babies out to put the new bedding in, but then in like the 2 minutes they were in their little tray thing, they 5 of them peed, and so they got wet all over. So obviously that's gonna happen. That they could have done it any time, but the 2 minutes they were in a spot where the pee couldn't be absorbed, they started peeing. So their moms came in right away and we're cleaning them all up, so they're all nice and dry now. But we just wanted to leave them alone for a little bit to let their moms clean them up. So it has now been an hour or two, and they are all nice and dry, which is good. So yeah, and they have all their nice bedding. But now we're going to do the second step we like to do, which is, so we are going to be using colloidal silver. So some of their eyes are just opening, and then most of the baby's eyes are still closed though. So it's going to be hard to film us doing it, but I'm going to explain what we're doing and then see if we get some, good footage. It might be a little blurry because this camera isn't the best, but so we're going to take the bunnies in our hand, and we're going to sort of put a thumb and finger, or your thumb with this hand and then the finger this hand, and kind of not pry it open, but kind of move the lids apart just a littlest bit, nice and gentle. And then if the eye pops open because it's open, then that'd be good, especially if it's, and sometimes it gets a little crusty when they first open their eyes, so sometimes you have to get that crust away. Sometimes their eyes are only open halfway, so as soon as their eyes start to open, you stop, and if their eyes are still too young to be opened, then they just stay closed. So we're just going to do that with our hands, and then if they're open, we're going to spray colloidal silver on the eye. We're going to let it close again and then spray it and then kind of wipe it around. It doesn't sting, it doesn't hurt. It's like silver, it's just water with silver particles in it, I think. I don't know really how to explain it, but it's good stuff. So it's like a disinfectant type thing, but you don't want to use an actual disinfectant because you don't want to sting them. So this is just, it doesn't sting, it's really nice. And then the baby's eyes who aren't open, we're just going to spray with colloidal silver anyway, because they'll probably open soon. and we just, it'll be good. So they'll have a fresh bedding so that whenever their eyes do open, then they won't have all these germy bedding, and then they'll have disinfectant on their eyes so that any germs that are on their eyes or something, they can just be helped along. So, and then sometimes there'll be 1 or 2 bunnies who their eyes open before we clean the bedding, or they're just kind of more prone to it, and they might get a little crusty or a little gummy, but the first few days they open their eyes, we spray their eyes with colloidal silver twice a day, and then the ones who have gummy eyes, we spray it until they're all clean. And so, yeah, 99% of the time, they all heal up right away. Any ones who are kind of a little bit infected, and then most of them aren't at all. So, yeah, we find this works pretty well.